of our lives. And the handling of these books is what our project is all about. Let's go find out.
Walk into a bookstore or library, and then suddenly you encounter this extremely tall bookshelf. And then you see your favorite book right on top, somewhere you cannot reach. What are the solutions you have at hand now? You can get a stool, get on it, and reach the book. Or you can ask someone taller to reach the book. Or you can get a ladder and reach the book. Now, our system is a solution for all of these inconveniences that you face at this situation. And also, it helps library staff maintain a library. Now, what are the problems? Why have we created this solution? First problem is that basically maintaining a library, arranging bookshelves, and all of that takes a lot of staff and a lot of time and is not very convenient. So this reduces the cost for staff and also reduces the time required to arrange the library. Then, like I said before, it provides a solution for that tall bookshelf problem. You can reaching books right on top, that's difficult. So this is a solution for that too. Then of course, libraries, basically libraries are a very important component of today's society. However, there has been a considerable decline in the number of people using libraries. And this may be because it's a hassle to actually go and choose a book from a library. And this hassle is a problem. And therefore, our system, our solution, gives a solution for this problem. Next, moving on. Now, what are the already available solutions that are there for these problems? Of course, there is the conventional bookshelf where you go and get books from. That is also one way of arranging books. Then you have maintenance staff which can help you out. Then ladders can be used. Then there are bookends that hold books in place, keeping them in position. And of course, there are smart library systems which tell you where the book is, but it does not really get you the book. Now, these are the solutions available today. And this slide gives you an idea of the of the solutions available today by showing you a few pictures. But what we need to understand is this, that all of these solutions that are already available are not really complete. And our solution, our prototype, our product gives a complete solution for this problem.
We are looking at the first conceptual design that we have come up with for this system. The system uses belts, motors, and thread bars for motion. The stepper motor rotates, creating a torque. This rotation is transferred to the belt and pulley due to friction. Moving on, here we have the functional decomposition diagram that we have come up with for this conceptual design. The main function of the conceptual design is library maintenance. This is divided into four subfunctions, which are book retrieval, book replacement, maintaining neatness, and user interface. We can use this functional decomposition diagram to understand what the system does. Going further, now it's time to understand what we have used from this conceptual design for the finalized product. We have used the basic layout and structure of the final design, which was obtained through critical analysis of this conceptual design.
This is the second conceptual design of our group. We use a clip to make the book magnetic, which is used to keep the book upright without falling. To grab and insert, we use a gripping method. The threaded bar is used to move the arm through XYZ planes, and the main use is it gives a high torque which can carry heavy loads. And we use a servo motor to control the speed and the distance, which will be more accurate. In the second slide, it shows the functional decomposition diagrams and with sub-functions with which is one of the first one is book retrieval, the second one is book replacement, the third one is communication. In the third slide, we the final for the final project we use the threaded bar idea, since it gives more torque and it can carry heavy loads. Thank you.
This is third conceptual designing of library maintains. First, we need to enter the location of the rack on the machine and the correct path to the rack. The book in it should be included separately in order from bottom to top. The machine move to the slide of the rack and rotate the round of the hand towards the rack with the hydraulic jack, raising the hand part to the level where the book is. Then required book is taken by the barcode mentioned in the book. The following is the functional decomposition diagram for the third conceptual designing. We have identified three subfunctions. There are book retrieval, book replacement, and electrical energy. When considering concepts that can be taken from this designing to the final designing, it was understood that this conceptual was a bit too complex. Therefore, the key concepts from this designing were not included in the final design.
We are looking at the final design that we are using to build our prototype, which was constructed using a software, the CAT software. In this design, we see that the Z and X axes are represented using thread bars. And the thread bars are turned using stepper motors accordingly, and these are controlled using an Arduino development board. Then the Z axis, or rather the Y axis, which is into the bookshelf, onto this beam at the end of the y-axis, electromagnets have been attached, and these electromagnets can be magnetized or demagnetized accordingly in order to hold onto the metal clips attached onto each book. On the right side, we see the frame, the wooden frame that we are going to mount all these components onto. By components, I'm not talking about the electrical components such as the power supply or the Arduino development board, but instead, I'm talking about the mechanical components such as the thread bar, smooth bar, which we are using to guide the carriages, then the bearings and the motors. And then all the electrical components will be mounted onto an area which is less visible in order to make the design look a lot better. Moving on to the flow of subsystems, basically how this works out is that the stepper motors provide the motion, or rather the motion required to rotate the thread bars. When the thread bars rotate, the carriages attached onto the thread bar using nuts with grooves cut inside, these move along the axis according to how the motors turn. Next, the motors receive control signals from the microprocessor of the Arduino development board, according to the programming done prior to the use of the product. And the Arduino receives serial input from the library or the bookstore computer, which actually tells which book is to be handled. And through this, you can tell which book is to be retrieved or replaced. And all of this can be entered into a computer through a program. EEPROM stores the database which tells the exact location, or in other words, the coordinates of each book code, so that the Arduino knows which way and how the motor should be controlled in order to take the carriage or the arm to the designated place. Once the location has been identified, the electromagnet can be magnetized in order to hold the book or let go of the book. Then moving on to the features, why this system suits the purpose or solves this problem. This system is completely automatic except for the part where the librarian has to type in the book code, which commands the system to retrieve or insert a book. This requires a lot less force than doing it physically because it is difficult to climb onto tall shelves using ladders and all of these. And hence, this system is a lot more easier and reduces the effort and workforce required. It is also simple and cost effective. In conclusion, due to the above mentioned reasons, this system is a lot more convenient, and also this automated system causes a lot less disturbances compared to the manual system. Hence, less tidying up is required and there is less supervision required, where the staff has to go around and check whether everything is in the right place or not. Shelves are automatically maintained by the system. And next up, what do you think are the improvements that we can do in this system? Well, the improvements that we can do here is to use a dedicated control board instead of the Arduino with a dedicated power supply in order to reduce the cost and the resources used, the wastage, and all of that.